The long-standing Israel-Palestine conflict has reached a new peak after the Hamas militant forces launched the largest attack on Israel in years. In the wake of increased tension and violent clashes, these new developments, the stakes are higher than ever, with Israel launching Operation Iron Sword in retaliation. But what could this mean for an already complex geopolitical landscape? Let's find out. They infiltrated southern regions of the country, following an intense barrage of thousands of rockets launched from the blockaded territory. On October 7th at 6:30 a.m., the Hamas militants fired an estimated 2,200 rockets towards southern and central Israel, targeting Tel Aviv and Jerusalem. The strike killed at least 100 people, while Hamas reportedly also took dozens of innocent people hostage. Not just that though, because according to the Israeli Defense Forces, tons of Palestinian militants attempted to infiltrate Israel by sea in hopes of staging a takeover. So, this wasn't a one-off rocket launch. We're talking about a coordinated strike. Barrages of rockets fired from multiple locations in Gaza, coupled with Hamas fighters infiltrating Israel by land, sea, and air. But before that could happen, the Israeli military launched into defense mode. The death toll in Israel grew to over 250 over the next few hours, making this the deadliest attack the country has faced in years. But before we get into that, let's take a history lesson, shall we? In the early 20th century, after the Ottoman Empire had crumbled, the British Empire took control over a region known as Palestine. The population was mostly Arab, but a small Jewish community lived there too. Now, fast forward to the aftermath of World War II. The horrors of the Holocaust left the international community in shock, and there was an obvious growing sympathy towards Jews. That's when Zionism, a movement advocating for the establishment of a Jewish homeland, gained traction. In 1947, the UN stepped in and proposed a plan to partition Palestine into separate Jewish and Arab states, with Jerusalem under international control. But here's where things get tricky. The Jewish leaders accepted the plan, but the Arab leaders didn't. The Jewish state of Israel was declared in 1948, sparking a war with neighboring Arab states. When the dust settled, Israel held more territory than was originally allocated, and hundreds of thousands of Palestinians were left as refugees. The decades that followed saw more wars, uprisings, and peace talks. There have been attempts to resolve the conflict, but a solution that satisfies both sides hasn't been found, resulting in increasing tensions that just don't seem to end. The issues at the core of the dispute: borders, security, water rights, control over Jerusalem, and the ultimate right to self-determination for both sides. This belief is rooted in the narrative surrounding the formation of Israel and the subsequent displacement of Palestinian communities. That's what led to the formation of Hamas in 1987, an Islamist organization in Palestine with a military wing. Hamas is committed to a rigid and literal interpretation of Islamic principles, and its charter, written in 1988, called for the establishment of an Islamic state in Palestine and the dismantling of the State of Israel. The group gained significant political power in 2006 when it won a majority in the Palestinian Legislative Council elections. This unexpected victory sowed seeds of internal conflict, leading to a violent clash with Fatah, the dominant Palestinian political party at the time. Hamas subsequently seized control of the Gaza Strip, where it has remained the de facto governing authority. Now, it's important to recognize the complexity of the role Hamas plays. For its supporters, it's seen as a resistance movement defending Palestinian rights and fighting against Israeli occupation. But for others, including Israel, the United States, and the European Union, it's classified as a terrorist organization, primarily due to its use of suicide bombings and rocket attacks targeting civilians. Coming back to October 2023, Israel's defense minister lets the world know that Hamas had made a grave mistake with the surprise attack and that the Israeli forces were more than ready to retaliate. This is where Operation Iron Sword comes into the picture. As gun battles continue between Hamas fighters and Israeli forces in three main areas of southern Israel, the IDF has asked residents of the Gaza Strip to stay in their homes. According to the IDF, they are dedicated to protecting the residents of the State of Israel at any cost. Initially, at least 198 people in the Gaza Strip were killed in Israel's retaliation, with over 1,600 wounded. The Israeli military has over 100,000 reserved troops near Gaza, ready to launch into action whenever needed. According to media reports, Israel's response has been swift and intense. Israeli airstrikes targeted housing blocks, tunnels, a mosque, and homes of Hamas officials in Gaza. The aftermath is grim though, with over 400 lives lost, including 20 children. A devastating revelation that underscores the tragedy of this confrontation. On the Israeli sides, towns were attacked and dozens were abducted amidst the chaos. The nation is in mourning, grappling with the loss and the haunting fear that's looming over them after the surprise attack. But the ripples of this conflict extend beyond the borders of Israel and Gaza. International lives have been tragically caught in the crossfire. Reports are emerging of 12 Thai nationals killed, including 4 Americans and a French citizen. The global community is on edge, working overtime to verify these reports and understand the full scope of this international tragedy. The UN's humanitarian relief agency paints a terrifying picture in Gaza as well. Over 123,000 Palestinians displaced, their homes reduced to rubble amidst the strikes aimed at houses and apartment buildings. In these moments of crisis, the human cost comes to the forefront, an urgent reminder of the need for a path to peace. That's all for the Israel-Palestine conflict. What do you think of the political situation that's unfolding after all this? Let us know in the comments below. For more videos like this, make sure to subscribe to our channel. See you next time. Bye.